You're watching Oilers Nation Everyday with Tyler Yaremchuk. Your one-stop shop for all things Oilers.
Finish the lyrics, Liam. It's Friday.
Yeah.
That's got to get down on Friday is what we were looking for. Let's get into it with the lead. Song Friday by Rebecca Black.
I was going to say the legend, Rebecca Black.
Yeah.
I prefer Prom Night.
Did you just throw a Rebecca Black deep cut at us? And
Yes,
you
I
can't
did.
even finish the lyrics of her most popular song? She has 2 songs.
Who featured in Friday?
Luda?
That would have been awesome. No, it
Body looking like milk.
boy, oh boy. Friday, let's have a look. Friday, Rebecca Black. The most disliked video on YouTube since was until Mr. Beast released his most recent video anyway.
Oh, really?
Boy, oh boy, that thing is it's taking off. Things are not looking good for Mr. Beast right now.
He seemed uncancelable for a while.
I know, and thankfully his friends figured out how to do it for everyone else. Yeah, Friday, most popular, 171 million.
Views or dislikes?
Views, the dislike count. You can't see it unless you dislike it. I don't really want to do that to it.
Yeah, don't do that. Like it. It's a
1.5 million.
Dislikes.
Dislikes. Can't see dislikes. Kind of weird.
That's maybe that's good. Anti-bullying, maybe.
Let's hope.
Well, anyways, what grade? I think I was in grade 7 when that came out.
I came out. I think I was still. It might have been longer, to be honest. 12 years ago. So
I would have been 14. Grade 8. Grade 8 or grade 9, yeah.
I would have been in grade 11.
You're not too.
Yeah, so you're.
I would have been grade 9.
You're not figuring out the right age.
Yeah, so I would have been grade 11.
10.
No, 14. In grade 10, you're 15 turning 16.
But I moved here 14 years ago and I was in grade 9. So if you had 2 years to that.
Yeah, but you might be getting confused by the
In
summer.
the fall of 2012, I'm in grade 12. So
September. Well, this is so stupid. It says
September 2023?
September 16th, 2021.
Okay.
So
what?
yeah, you would have been grade 9. I would have been grade 10.
2021?
Sorry, 2011.
Oh, Jesus. We have lost the plot. So I would have been grade 9.
Yep.
Just starting it. And you would have been just starting grade 10. Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay, we're good. We're good? Everyone's good?
The
Sorted?
anniversary's
Good?
coming up for that.
Of the song?
The song.
What are we going to do to celebrate?
I guess play it.
All right.
Greetings from Germany. Greetings.
Hope this video made sense.
Guten Tag.
All right. Let's giddy up. Let's get into the show. First off, welcome into Oilers Nation Everyday, live from the Sports Closet studio. Check them out online, sportscloset.ca. One of the worst starts we've ever had in the history of this particular program.
I would disagree.
Greta Bar Yeg YouTube chat is alive and well. Hope everyone's having a good Friday. It is almost the weekend.
Must be nice to have the weekend off. I'll be at the rink all weekend.
All right. Everyone in the YouTube chat, hope you have a great weekend. Why not swing by Greta, arcade bar, street food? Everything's good with our friends at Greta. The patio, weather's going to be good this weekend. It's going to be hot. Going to be hot, Liam. Good time to hit up the Greta patio. Go, soak up the sun, go inside, cool off a little bit, play some arcade games, back out to the patio.
Back on the patio with a cold one.
We do have a decent amount to get to today, actually. We're going to do it around the league. The segment we teased or you thought of on Friday.
Yep.
Where we're going to go through and rank the teams in each division, and then we're going to rank the divisions themselves.
So we're going to predict the standings.
We're going to predict the standings, and then we're going to rank the divisions based on their difficulty.
Okay. Because I think this is going to sound stupid. And maybe it doesn't. I'm going to say it anyway.
Yep.
You can rank a team differently than where you think they'll sit in the standings.
What?
Well, I think the organization can be based differently. Like, I think Montreal is going to finish lower than Ottawa, but I think they're a better organization than Ottawa.
Yeah, but we're ranking based on next year.
I know. That's what I mean. So
where we think they'll finish next year.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, the tweet's already gone out that I think Montreal is going to finish last now, without any research.
Well, you do think they're going to finish last, right?
I do now, yeah.
Well, there's a good tease to the segment a little bit later. We have what's trending coming up in a little bit. We got a Sherwood Ford Giant question that kind of plays off the end of what's trending. We're going to be joined by Jake Lanferman. He is the manager of the Edmonton Riverhawks. And for the first time in the history of the Edmonton Riverhawks, they are playoff bound. They will play that playoff game right here, or game 1 of that series, Tomorrow in Edmonton.
Mm-hmm.
And then they'll be off to Bellingham for games 2 and 3. They're underdogs. Everyone loves an underdog story.
Yeah.
Also, kind of insane. They're making Bellingham come all this way for one game. Seems a little intense.
Remax Field makes money.
That's fair. Yeah.
But is that that's Washington, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that is crazy. For
maybe they fly. Do you think they fly?
They fly.
Oh, they do? So will the Riverhawks fly to Bellingham?
Probably.
We'll ask Jake.
That's good, though.
Yeah.
Can you imagine being on the bus all that time? Like
for one game.
First year, I think they were sponsored by Swoop.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I do remember you telling us that.
Be Clean is in the Greta Bar YouTube chat. He says, bring back real life. That's what's trending. I forgot to hit the button for a second week in a row. So that's on me. Real life is out now, though, but don't listen to it till after this episode. This will end at 1. You do real life 1 till 2. And then shortly after that, we'll have Owen Radio.
Yeah, Owen Radio. And do you know what else you should listen to after you're done with all our content? Yesterday, I think Stephen Ellis was in the office, right?
Yeah.
He then went to Gregor and did a show and you go on the Gregor show, you can listen to his 48-minute slot.
He was on for 48 minutes.
It was a fantastic conversation. He is the most interesting man.
Yes.
Just with the stuff he watches. Like
he was on Real Life yesterday. He talked about a lot of that.
Okay,
yeah, so
cool. Yeah, okay, then don't bother. Just listen.
You could do Gregor too, but you know how I know he was on the Gregor show?
You drove him.
I drove him to the mall. Mm-hmm. Did it come up in the interview?
No, I've been driving him back to. So it's a funny story if you don't mind. So I've been driving Steven. We both been at the Halinka, and after post game, I'll drive him back to the office because he's been staying in the Airbnb. So I just drop him off because he said he was gonna walk. Crazy.
He also told me yesterday he was like, I might walk to the mall. I was like, what? He's like, Google says it'll take 2.5 hours.
Yeah, there's also a highway.
Yeah. It's like, what are you doing, Stephen?
So the first day, he's like telling me where his Airbnb is, and he's like, I think it's by the office, but like I'm not 100% sure. So I'm like, okay, can you just put it in the Google Maps? And I was driving there, and I'm like driving down, and all of a sudden I'm parked outside the office. Like I did not need the Google Maps.
Yeah, I know where I work.
So yeah, really good guy. Does fantastic work.
Yep. Player grade today is Connor Brown. We'll get to that in a little bit. Update on the golf tournament, and then Bet365 other sports reports. So that is everything we got. It's everything we got going on today. It's going to be a jam-packed little show. Also, Ellis tried Wilhock beef jerky for the first time, and he said it was great.
I'm shocked.
Yeah, that's the least surprising part of the day. But let's start with a little bit of hockey talk. Liam, let's do around the league for our friends at Spring Financial. Unexpected expenses always show up. Whether it's home repairs, your kid needs a new hockey stick, your car breaks down, hockey sticks can be expensive. Guess what? You can borrow money for those unexpected expenses right from your phone and receive an e-transfer within hours. Spring Financial offers online personal loans from $500 up to $35,000 with no stress and no branch visits ever. Join their thousands of happy customers who've made them Canada's top-rated lender. Apply in 3 minutes today at springfinancial.ca/ONE. Around the league after a quick message from Spring Financial.
Looking for the fastest personal loan in Canada? Well, look no further. Spring Financial offers fully online personal loans with zero stress and no need for branch visits. But don't take our word for it.
Thank you. Thank you, Spring Financial.
Thank you very much.
Spring Financial is the best.
Apply today at springfinancial.ca.
Are those cat ears, or is that a weird part of her car? I actually think it might be like the door, like the oh shit handle on the car.
Was she in the top right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I almost want to run it back.
Well, Spring Financial is going to be around for a while.
Yeah, they will be. Okay, we'll wait.
See if new segment.
Yeah. Can we get to the bottom of does the lady have cat ears, or is it a part of his car? Can you guys from Mainlander Tim? Can you guys repeat the last 5 minutes? I missed it because a coworker talked by and wanted to talk work. Next time, just watch the show with them.
Yeah, bring them up.
If they come over and they're like, "Hey, I need these reports done," be like, "Yo, I'm watching on every day." Just sit down for an hour.
Yeah, you could rewind.
You could also rewind and then slowly catch up.
Yeah.
All right, around the league for our friends at Spring Financial, we are going to be predicting because every team has largely done their off-season work.
Yeah.
Like I can't see anything stunning happening in the next month.
Yeah.
So we kind of know what each team will look like. So let's dig into it. Let's start out east because this is the order the NHL website has it. And let's start in the Atlantic, Liam. Last year, these standings went Florida, Boston, Toronto, Tampa, Detroit, Buffalo, Ottawa, Montreal. Aaron, actually, maybe we could show the standings from last year on NHL.com. That might be a good way to keep track of all this. But Liam, do you think Florida is still the best team in that division?
I mean, you've probably just got to say yes, don't you? I think I think it'll be them and Tampa Bay, though, that kind of battle it out. I could see Boston taking a slight step back. I know they went out and got Lindholm and Zadorov, but Lindholm's a good player, but
no more of the Allmark slamming duo.
Who's their backup now then?
Their backup goalie is Jonas Korpisalo.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Which, you know what? Not that bad.
He's fine as a backup.
He'd be good.
Yep.
So I'm gonna say Florida is the best team left in that division.
It's
still,
man, it's close. I just looking at the Bruins blue line, like Zadorov McAvoy, Lindholm Carlo. That's pretty solid. Third pairings, low Ryan Peak. That leaves you wanting a bit more, maybe. So you maybe question the depth there. I don't hate I like their forward group, and maybe yeah, you're right. It's Florida. Florida's number one. I guess the better question is who's number two. Do you like the Leafs any more than you did last year? It feels like they maybe have a little bit of their goaltending thing sorted out. Like Joseph Woll, I think, can be a guy who takes a bit of a step forward with them. He's got to stay healthy, but they got him and Stolars, and granted, he played for Florida last year, but Stolars led the league in save percentage.
Yeah, he actually was pretty
He was really
underrated, kind of forgotten guy throughout the league. So, yeah, I mean, I think the Leafs...
They got Tanev, Oliver Ekman-Larsson, so their blue line is now Morgan Riley, Chris Tanev, OEL and Liljegren, and then Simone Benoit and Jake McCabe. That's a good right side.
But Tanev's always hurt. Always sidelined.
This was last season.
Okay. Nice. McMahon.
But the thing is, I think it makes sense that Tampa could regain points because you got to think they didn't have Vasilevsky to start the year.
But now you don't have Stamkos. I guess you replace him with Gensel.
So you've kind of got you. I don't think Gensel Stamkos, but I mean, he's not far off, is he, from like a goal scoring perspective?
Added Cam Atkinson on a dirt cheap deal. No Sergachev. Oh, Sergachev for McDonough. I hate that.
Yeah, the blue line isn't awesome, but JJ Mosa is actually decent.
Okay.
No, man. I think this is my prediction.
Okay. Give me your order.
Florida, Tampa, Toronto, Boston. I think Boston will be a wild card team.
I'm going to
go
go
top four again. I mean, at the end of the day, Webb.
Yeah. So I'm going to go Florida, Toronto, Tampa, Boston.
Florida, Toronto, Tampa, Boston.
Yeah, I'm going to go Boston 4 and a flip-flop Toronto, Tampa.
The reason I could even... The only one I'm even debating is 3 and 4, which way they could go around. Yeah. And I think sometimes, too, we underestimate, and we've spoke about this, so maybe not underestimate, but the culture of Boston. There's still a lot of those guys.
And like David Pastrnak is a superstar.
Brad Marchand.
In his late 30s now, though.
Still good. But that's what I mean. He like still has that mentality of like we're the Boston Bruins.
Yep.
Zadorov is going to bring that, or Zadorov, whatever his damn name is. Like maybe we'll see a bit of a jump from Lindholm again. I don't love their team, but every year I don't love their team. And then we're only 2 years removed from them being literally the best team ever, right? In the regular season. So Dabrowski is probably a bigger loss than we want to give it credit for. I mean, that third
But if you're going to
line,
say the Bruins are the Bruins, you can also say the Lightning are the Lightning.
Exactly.
Right?
That's why I have them as second.
Yeah.
And Florida's Florida. So therefore, maybe Toronto's Toronto.
It makes sense.
You know, it's just that they're all so good and quite. I don't think Boston could win the Stanley Cup, but if they made it that far, I don't think anyone would be shocked because they're the Boston Bruins at the end of the day. So, but I think that 4 is basically just a lock in again.
So
the
I agree.
Group is interesting for Boston.
It is. Okay, so the top 4 is kind of locked in. Out of that bottom 4 now, let's rank the bottom 4. I actually think this is pretty easy. I have Buffalo as the best of the group. I don't like what they did this summer, but I think the goaltending will be better year over year for them. I think UPL is proven now he can handle a workload. Devin Levi should be a good 1B to him. I do think that Buffalo team is going to be better. Some young players should take a step forward. I think it's Buffalo, Ottawa, Gap, Detroit, Gap, Montreal.
I think Buffalo probably does take the jump.
Although Ottawa with Allmark's very tempting to throw up there because that goaltending sort of, I don't love their blue line. Like I love Buffalo's blue line. And
the thing is too, like, so what don't you like about Buffalo's offseason? Like, what didn't you like?
So they bought out Jeff Skinner and then used the savings to sign Jason Zucker, who's worse than Jeff Skinner.
Do you think they got a little bit deeper though? I mean, probably. And I think that's what they were that's kind of the idea of it.
Lafferty and McLeod, K, Beck Malenstein, K. They are deeper. Like I do like this forward group. Maybe Zach Benson can become a top 6 guy. I love that. Like, this blue line's so good. Byram, Dahlin, Power, Yokoharu, Samuelson, Clifton. That left side, look out. That's going to be really damn good for a really long time.
They have Lindy Ruff, right?
Yeah, which I didn't like that higher, but
I don't love it either.
Goaltending's good. I think they have fewer holes than the Ottawa Senators. Although Ottawa, maybe you give the edge to goaltending wise.
And the thing is, too,
Ottawa's good.
Tage Thompson, I think, is an interesting case.
Yeah.
If he can get back to his 40 goals, which is obviously, like, we've seen it once, maybe he's just not a 40 goal guy. Maybe he's a 30 goal guy, and that's fine. JJ Peterka, can he hang around 30 goals again, being a first line winger? I don't think I could see him pushing pretty hard for that last wild card spot.
Okay.
I'd have to look. The Metro's so tough, though. I think they'll miss ultimately, but Metros.
Yeah. So I'm going full division. We should probably speed this up. We spent way too much time on the Atlantic. I'm going to go final answer.
Are we not doing one a day?
Oh, we're just going to do one a day? Yeah, that's smart. That's
okay.
way smarter. Yeah, that is way smarter, actually. Okay. Yeah, then we'll get into what's trending. That makes sense. Okay, final answer, because now we've talked it out. We've gone through the depth charts. Florida's 1. That's consensus.
Yes.
I am going to agree with you and say Tampa's 2.
Okay.
Gensel is really damn good.
Vasilevsky back.
Healthy Vasilevsky offsets the worst blue line.
That's what I was going to say. Does that offset?
Yeah.
What's his name? Sergachev.
Yeah. So I'm good there. Florida 1, Tampa 2, Toronto 3. I think they're better than that. Blue line's good in Toronto now.
Yeah. I think I said Toronto 3.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Toronto 3, Boston 4, Buffalo 5.
Yeah, I think Buffalo and Boston and Detroit will be very close.
You don't think Ottawa? I think Ottawa's better than the Detroit.
I think when you look at they're good. Detroit have more goals than them.
Okay, but
top 6: DeBrincat, Larkin, Raymond, Tarasenko, JT Compher, Patrick Kane. Pretty good top 6.
Pretty good top 6. Brady Tkachuk's really damn good.
Yeah.
Tim Stützle's really damn good. Claude Giroux, good vet. Healthy Josh Norris is a 40-goal guy.
Yeah.
Drake Batherson, 25 plus. David Perron, literally brought in from Detroit. If Shane Pinto will be there for the full year, that's a good third line center. I like their fourth line with Ostapchuk, St. Albert boy, McEwen, and Gregor. The blue line actually might set them apart. Sanderson is so good. Like, Sanderson is Sider level to me.
Yeah, he's probably getting pretty close.
I don't love Zub. Jensen, okay, good vet. Shabbat, solid in that 2-hole. Maybe you have Bernard Docker, Cleveland. I like the goaltending more, though. The goaltending is enough.
Okay, so you're doing Ottawa, Detroit?
Yeah, I'm going Buffalo, Ottawa, Detroit. Okay. And then Montreal last.
David Perron is actually a sneaky good ad.
He is, yeah. Good vet. They need guys like that, guys who compete, know how to, run a professional locker room. Detroit did get Tarasenko, that's fair. But like Talbot and Lyon, that's not good goaltending.
No, it's not good goaltending. But Talbot, all-star last year.
And their blue line, has names you recognize, but that doesn't make them good. Is Ben Sherratt good? No. Is Jeff Petrie good? No. Is Olli Mata good? Meh. Is Eric Gustafsson good? No. Oh, so it's Sider and Edvidson and 4 guys who aren't that good.
I think the blue lines probably counter each other. Ottawa might have a slight edge. I just think
so. Then Ottawa's the better team.
Well, we can't just agree.
Well, maybe we can.
We won't be.
So we're disagreeing there, but we agree on the first 5. We're flip-flopping the next 2. Then it's Montreal in the basement.
Yeah, Montreal will secure last. Yes.
Okay. Fair. All right. There you go. There's our Atlantic Division preview for next season. Great stuff. Should we continue along with the program? We got 10 minutes till Jake Lanferman joins the show.
Yeah. What are people saying in the chat?
Did people agree with us or disagree with us?
Mainlander Tim said Ottawa 5. Ryan said Toronto will miss.
They're not going to miss. They have too much talent to miss the playoffs.
Mainlander Tim kept saying Buffalo's bottom 6 is better.
But he also said their bottom 6 is not the reason they didn't make the playoffs last year. And I agree. They need more. They needed to go get a high-end forward. And they apparently made a big play for Marty Necas, which, if they got Marty Necas, I'd call him a playoff team.
Yeah, but I think making your bottom 6 better makes you better, too.
It does, yeah, it does. And I'm not, I just didn't get enough wow from them this offseason to be they're ready to be a playoff team.
I do think the Ryan McLeod for Savoy trade
helps them for next year.
I think it's very, how do I word this? Underappreciated for what it was. We all know what Ryan McLeod was, and I think we were all a bit sick and tired of just his style. He didn't fit what we all wanted to see. But at the end of the day, you knew you were getting 12 goals from him a year. It's a third line center. He was reliable defensively, penalty killer. That will help them. He is only 24. He's going to have a long career.
Yeah, like Buffalo might have found their third line center for the next 10 years if they want him, right?
And they needed Savoy, but they didn't need Savoy. They have
But they needed high-end talent, so giving up on Savoy, like they need one more legit, exciting top 6 guy. Trading Savoy makes sense if you had the backdoor deal to go get Marty Necas.
Yeah, that's fair. But I think maybe you got to give it a bit of time to kind of play out, I guess.
Sure. All right, let's get into what's trending. We've done enough on the Atlantic today. Let's do what's trending for our friends at A&W. Burgers to Beat MS Day is back, celebrating its 16th year on Thursday, August 22nd. For every teen burger sold on Burgers to Beat MS Day, $2 will be donated to Multiple Sclerosis Canada. In the lead up to August 22nd, there are many ways you can support Burgers to Beat MS. You can round up your bill at participating A&Ws. You can donate online at burgerstobeatms.ca or through the A&W app or through your delivery apps when ordering A&W. Let's get into what's trending after this message from A&W.
Grab a burger, beat MS on August 22nd.
August 22nd, we'll be live on location at a to-be-determined A&W. Exciting stuff. Okay, here's what's trending, Liam. Some of it's Oilers related. Actually, a lot of it is. On this day 2 years ago, sad note started with Ben Stelter passed away 2 years ago. Yeah. So wanted to send our love to the Stelter family. We love supporting the Ben Stelter Foundation. Mike and Leah are top-notch human beings, so we love doing stuff with them. I love everything they've done with the Ben Stelter Foundation. So sad news from 2 years ago, but everything they've done in those 2 years in Ben's name is just amazing. So again, thinking of the Stelter family today, actually a lot of what's trending is like on different scales of sadness, but it is relatively sad Oilers news. Did you see the video of after Game 7?
Unfortunately, I did.
Aaron, do we have it? Can we play it? This is courtesy of Oilers Plus. Give us a watch.
Hey, there's nothing that's going to make this feel better. We can have nothing we say. But I know we're going to be back. I know it. I know we're going to be back, boys. I know it in my heart. Like, this is the worst feeling in the world. I hope everybody comes back because this team's special.
Oh,
I'll get you.
When he says, okay, this is going to be a poor take to have, but I'm going to have it. But it's straight up one of the first things that popped into my mind because he's in the screen while he says it. When he says, I hope everyone's back next year. Yeah. We have a special group. It makes me so much more angry that Corey Perry wouldn't just sign for the Min. It's because the camera's on him, and I'm like, dude, if he would have taken the $400,000 less, the Oilers are cap compliant. God damn it, dude. Take one for the team. Zach Hyman, absolute leader. Also, I saw this take getting thrown around a little bit, and I agree with it 1,000%. You watch that, and anyone who still thinks Connor McDavid should have gone out to get the Conn Smythe Trophy is a moron.
Just so dumb. At the end of the day, like, what do we know, right? In that moment of like why he didn't go out and everything, we can speculate it on all we want, but you got to put the human side of things into this from time to time and like realize what had just happened. Team had lost in Game 7 in a game that, quite frankly, they probably didn't deserve to even win at the time, and it's just like disappointing overall. So I don't blame McDavid one second.
You can hear the PA announcer like Stanley Cup champions.
Worst.
Dead silence in the room. Oh, I'd rather take a kick to the nuts.
That sucks. That sucked. All right, let's stay with the sad trend. On this day in 1988 was the Wayne Gretzky trade. So again, awesome. Rick, who we're going to do Oilers Nation Radio with later today, said that dropping that Oilers Plus video on the anniversary of the Gretzky trade is a quote war crime. So that's how Rick's handling all this. But on this day in 1988, the Edmonton Oilers traded Wayne Gretzky to the Los Angeles Kings. The full deal was Wayne Gretzky and Mike Krushelnyski and Marty McSorley to the LA Kings for Jimmy Carson, Marty Gelinas, a first-round pick that turned into Jason Miller, a first-round pick that turned into Martin Rucinski, and a first-round pick that turned into Nick Stadjahar. So Oilers probably could have drafted a little bit better to make that deal maybe sting a bit less. Wayne Gretzky would go on to not win another Stanley Cup in his career, and the Oilers would go on to add a 5th ring to their fingers. So, things kind of worked out, but it is a little bit infuriating. Again, this was before my time, before your time, before Aaron's time, before the time of, I'm sure, a lot of people watching this show, quite frankly, because we have a pretty young demographic. But when you look at Lemieux, got to do his whole career as a Penguin, Yzerman, whole career, Sakic. I know he was a Nordique for a bit, but like he's an Avalanche,
he
right?
Didn't leave.
Yeah, he never left. It is a little bit annoying that we didn't get Gretzky just as a career Oiler. But I would also say Gretzky never won a Stanley Cup with the LA Kings.
Or New York Rangers.
Or with the New York Rangers. He went to a final.
He lost.
Went to a final with the Kings and lost. But he did not win another Stanley Cup in his career.
Oilers merchant?
Oilers merchant. It sucks that Gretzky was not a career Oiler, but for growing the game, him going to LA was very good for the league. It was.
Yeah. Oh, totally. I mean,
it just came at Oilers fans' expenses.
Yeah, but now we're getting our payback.
We are, by beating the piss out of the LA Kings every year.
Yeah.
I thought, or you said, is the Gretzky trade tree still alive? So let's go player by player and well, let's do the work for the people.
Okay.
So Jimmy Carson, the Oilers eventually traded him for Adam Graves, Peter Klima, Joe Murphy, and Jeff Sharpies, which is crazy. Adam Graves then turned into, this is going to be super confusing. Oh, the Oilers let Adam Graves walk as a free agent. So he's done.
Adam Graves?
Yeah, he was.
Where does he come in? So what was that first step? Sorry.
Jimmy Carson turned into, he was one piece of the Gretzky. I'm going piece by piece.
Okay, go ahead.
He turned into Graves, Klima, Joe Murphy, and Jeff Sharples. The one ended, Graves, they let him walk. Peter Klima turned into future considerations, so he was done. Joe Murphy turned into Igor Kravchuk and Dean McCammond. That's a pull. Boy, I feel like I'm going to kill Puck Doku today now. If there's an Oilers column, it is over. Igor Kravchuk, did the Oilers end up doing anything with? My laptop is dying in front of me. Is there anyone still alive?
Yeah.
Who's the connection? How deep does it go back?
So if you go Marty Yelena,
okay,
then Marty Jelena was traded. So it can kind of go. It doesn't have to be directly from like he was traded from one team to the next, right? Kind of keeps going.
Okay.
So if you go Sean Burke, who then was traded a few years later for Mike Comrie in 2009.
How does Jelena connect to Sean Burke?
Because Jelena was traded.
Jelena for Scott Pearson
from Vancouver to Carolina.
Oh, but that's not the Gretzky trade tree anymore. That's not how it works.
But there's a branch off there. If you keep going,
but that branch doesn't involve Edmonton anymore.
God damn it! If you keep going,
you can only go through Edmonton.
Kyle Palmieri. There you go.
But that's not the Gretzky trade tree anymore. That's just players who were.
I thought it was like part of that.
No, but you have to go the Oilers. Like
so then
the Oilers turned. That's why I was doing Jimmy Carson turned into.
So I can only do it from
doing this
trade.
live is
doing this live is just awful radio.
This is summer content, baby.
Yeah, this is summer content. Okay, we'll do it. Maybe we'll do this properly on Monday.
Okay, you do the research.
Me?
Clearly,
okay.
I have no idea.
I went viral once for doing a trade tree that I wrote by hand.
What was it?
It was the Messier trade tree. I did it when I was bored during a 1260 shift, and Bar Down picked it up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it said Tyler Yaremchuk of TSN, whatever, 1160 in Winnipeg. And I was like, well, not quite.
Yeah.
You're halfway there, but whatever.
Oh, well.
Okay, we got a Sherwood Ford Giant question. It's going to be about Oscar Klefbom, and we have a player grade for Connor Brown, but we are going to switch gears a little bit and move away from the hockey talk and get into the Star Mechanical guest line. It is Edmonton's #1 plumbing and heating company. Residential, commercial, 24/7 emergency service. They do it all, and they do it well, and they've been doing it well for over 20 years in the Edmonton area. Check them out online, starmechanical.ca. Speaking of doing well, bang, that's how you transition and bring in the manager of the Edmonton Riverhawks, Jake Lanferman. The Edmonton Riverhawks are playoff bound. Jake, how fired up are you? How fired up are the boys?
Yeah, we're excited, man. First time as a franchise, so the guys are ready to rock tomorrow, and we're ready to go.
How has it been, like, just seeing the support from the city? Like, we've gone to a bunch of games. It seems like every single game is close to a sellout.
I feel like this year really took off too. So I feel like the crowd, the support we got from the city and the atmosphere down there, obviously you guys have been down there. It's crazy. It's electric. And when everybody's there, you got 7,000-8,000. It's something crazy, as well as Canada Day, the 9,100. It was bizarre. So it's been fun. It's been fun for the coaches and the staff and the players.
So I don't know if there's an answer to this or if you'll be able to give me an answer to this. It might be just a really shitty question, but I was around when it was the Prospects. You were in the Prospects organization for a bit, and like Canada Day would be a big crowd. And other than that, having a big, excited crowd, it didn't happen that much. Mm-hmm. What has Randy, Greg, and this Riverhawks organization done differently? What's the special sauce that's allowed the Riverhawks to just click?
I think we just really made it community focused, right? I think obviously tickets being as cheap as they are, it's good for families. It's good for everybody to come out and kind of support us. I think the way this organization, as a staff, as the upper class too, we try to make the players feel welcome, give them an experience that they can't miss out on. Obviously, the fan support and everything that's kind of engaged from it has been massive too. But I think just the way, the little things we do as an organization has let it take off, and we're just kind of along for the ride. It's amazing to see it grow. And obviously, when I played for the Prospects, Canada Day was it was a great game, and then obviously playoffs was kind of crazy too. But the normal Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday games definitely weren't like this, right? We're getting 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 on weekdays, which is, it speaks for itself on many levels.
So you're not just giving all the credit to the beer bats. That's interesting. That's interesting. Greg obviously going to the Oilers Ring of Honor as well. He's such a staple in the community. I think like having his support, his name behind it, like that's significant. That carries weight as well. The crowds are unbelievable. It's now, you're a few years into this whole thing. Has it made recruitment any easier for you to be like, man, look how much fun it is to play in Edmonton and to be a Riverhawk?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't make it any harder, that's for sure. So I think already getting coaches, D1 schools reaching out to replace guys that we've had before for next year, or new schools that are like, hey, you guys are doing it right. You guys do put these guys up in a great spot, and it's a great developmental spot for a lot of guys. So it's making it easier. Obviously, year two as a head coach has been a lot easier in many ways, kind of getting the ground under me. And obviously it shows. We went 18-36 last year, and now we're making playoffs. So it's been pretty cool.
Well, how many players were drafted this year? Was it 3 players and 1 was signed?
Yeah, so we had 2 drafted that both signed. So we had Vicarte Domingo and Gavin Smith. They both signed. Tommy Takayoshi signed as a free agent after the draft. And then we had 3 players actually from before that. So when I was the hitting coach 2 years ago, you got it right there. Ivan Brethauer, Isaac Martinez, and then Ryan Mugdeach. They all got drafted and signed too. So I think the highest we had was Brethauer. He went in the 7th round of the Cubs. And that's pretty high for a position player. So to see that growth and to see that kind of transition to, hey, it's cool that they spent the summer in Edmonton. They got that the experience up here, and now they're going to play for the major league teams and the minors. It's pretty special. So developing with those guys too is extremely cool. So it's awesome.
Yeah. Sorry, it's a unique thing for you as well, because like you talked about, the development speaks for itself, and that makes recruitment easier down the line as well. But also these guys get drafted in the middle of your season, then they got to go play for their pro teams. So heading into the playoffs, like you need a whole new crop of guys to be stepping up for you.
Yeah, I don't think people understand how difficult it is playing Django with his lineup, especially halfway through. So we got a lot of new faces. It's a different new look, kind of. We're not the only team that it happens to, right? I think everybody tries to do their best to maintain and keep guys as long as we can. And obviously Corvallis does a very good job of it. That's why they won the league 6-7 times in a row. But yeah, it's just kind of bringing in new guys when we lose guys. Obviously, we've lost some big names too, just going to get ready for school or having to report. So it's tricky. It's probably one of the most difficult parts of the job. And we got a lot of talent, though. We'll give it a good shot tomorrow and end this playoff run. So we're excited.
So what's the playoff format for people that don't know? You guys start tomorrow, right?
Yeah. So we finished as the 3 seed. So it's a best of 3 series. We will play tomorrow at Remax. That's game 1. We'll actually fly to Bellingham on Sunday. We'll place in Bellingham game 2. And then if needed, game 3 would be on Monday in Bellingham. So that's the first round of it. And then it's an extremely quick playoff. So if we get past Bellingham, then we play, it would just be basically the semifinal, which is a 1-game semifinal and then a 1-game final. So we outstretched the regular season a little bit, obviously, right, having 54 games, but it's just a week of playoffs, and it's kind of, it just depends who's hot, really. It's kind of different.
Yeah, that is wild with the start being the way that is. Do you like that, or would you maybe like to see a bit of a change where the regular season's shortened? I know like the basketball league, the CEBL, they did it just to ease up the travel, where like the first round was in everyone's buildings, but then you go play like a tournament style final. Would you like to see any sort of a change?
I think if we were to shorten the regular season a little bit, you're seeing a lot more talent sticking around for that playoff. So obviously, if you could do 3 sets of 3 and you could cut maybe 8 games off the regular season, it would probably make playoffs look a lot different for our league and for the talent level in those playoffs. But it's kind of it is what it is. Obviously, the commissioner does his best to make it run as smoothly. It's just a lot of these guys do have to go and kind of get to school, so it's tricky in that regard.
So you guys are trying to, I mean, not quite pull off an upset because you were similar record to Bellingham, even though you are technically the lower seed. But give me the keys to victory here. What are you looking for out of your boys? You're going to pull this off.
Yeah, I think Bellingham's got a good team. I think pitching is going to be maybe the differentiator. I think we have some really strong pitching for definitely game 1, game 2. We're going to be all right too. And it just kind of goes down to who can swing it better. So I know they're going to be a strong team. They always are. Bellingham's good, but I like our chances this year. I think we're going to give it a good shot. Tomorrow night, we got Halen and Noel on the bump, which has been kind of our regular guy. And then we got Kai Fike and Tyler Jans coming out of the pen, which are probably 2 of our better arms. So we're going to obviously go try and get game 1 and then see what Sunday kind of brings us when it does. But tomorrow will be a good baseball game, that's for sure.
Last one I had for you. Did you have another one? Are you good?
I think I'm good. Did you play with Eric Zabrowski when you played in the Prospects?
Oh, yeah. I probably played with Eric growing up. We went to St. Francis Xavier in the West End together too. So, he's a really unique story in that sense that he developed very late and kind of came out of nowhere as a pitcher. And now he's working his way up the ranks in minor baseball for the Cleveland Guardians. Now I think he got picked up in the Rule 5. So he's been really cool to watch. He's an extremely talented pitcher, and he's got a really good shot to make the MLB or play in the show here soon. I think he's all the way up to AAA already. So that's kind of what everybody's watching for around here. But he used to two-way back then. He was a position guy, any pitch. So it's cool to see him kind of just continue to develop.
Yeah, I think I remember when you guys were playing. How is it again? I think you were playing Swift Current in the final or something like that. And he hit a home run. And the next one I saw, Jay Downton.
Oh, yeah, when he did his thing there. We had Eric on the show. That was probably 2 weeks ago now. A couple weeks ago. But if you want to talk about him being a late bloomer, I also played baseball with him when we were like 11 or 12. And then like 8 years later, he was playing pro ball. So that's also a comment on my pretty steep decline as a ball player. But he's having a really solid run right now in AAA. I always like to look at the game logs, and he's only allowed like 1 earned run in his last 6 appearances. He's Dyson. Call him up, Cleveland. Last one I had for you, the theme jerseys. Oh, I always get a kick out of them. Favorite theme jersey you've had as a Riverhawk?
I like those. This year was good with the Silver City Dragons. I think we went 4-1. I think it's always good when you're winning them, but I like those ones. We have some really cool ones. The Swifties are cool. It's cool how they kind of tailor it to the crowd of all the different ones. The Canada one's great. The Taos Balls was pretty funny last year. I think we had the Chrome Domes kind of going after the Los Angeles Kings there, but it was good. It was good, and it's fun to at least give it a different look for the summer ball, kind of the better fun towards it.
What a manager answer. What was your favorite one? The one we went 4-1 in. Like, yeah, okay, that makes sense. Jake, best of luck, man. Good luck on Saturday against Bellingham. Safe travels, and hopefully you're coming back with the season still alive.
Appreciate it, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah,
there you go.
Later.
Jake Lanferman from the Edmonton Riverhawks. He's the manager. They had a great year. They're going to the playoffs.
Yeah.
They're going to beat the hell out of Bellingham.
I hope so. I love going to the games. I
Me
wish
too.
I would honestly go to more, but whenever I go, it's always a great time. We had a great time last year in the box.
I got drunk.
I won my visor.
Yeah, I wore the big Twisted Tea sunglasses.
Do you remember the score of that game?
Those sunglasses.
Yeah, they came back.
No, this is a game I will never, ever forget. It finished 1-0. And they scored in like the bottom of the 7th. They lost 1-0. But it was like
That was the last year.
Oh yeah, the
That's
game
last
took
year,
like
Hawks.
2 hours and 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It was super fast. I do
super
remember that
fast.
now. Yeah. All right. Shout out to Jake for joining the show. Support the Riverhawks. Let's go. Saturday, first playoff game in franchise history. Let's continue along with the program and get to our Sherwood Ford Giant off-season question of the day. This is a bit of a fun one. It's brought to you by our friends at Sherwood Giant. Sherwood Ford the Giant, their fantastic mobile service department. It comes to you. One of the many perks of making Sherwood Ford the Giant your next dealership. Oscar Klefbom officially announced his retirement today. People saying, God, that's so sad. I said, did you think he was coming back? He's been basically retired for 2 or 3 years. He just got around to filling out the paperwork. Super sad, obviously, that after 378 games, the Oilers lost who was at the time their best defenseman. And it makes you think, how much different is this team in this blue line if Oscar Klefbom had been able to stick around?
Totally.
But here's my question. From the McDavid era forward, because I don't want to do the what if they didn't get Connor McDavid thing.
Okay.
But from the McDavid era, in the McDavid era, what are your biggest what ifs?
Oh,
It's a good one. Excited to see what people can say in the chat. Like, again, there are low-hanging fruit, right? There is what if they would have beat Florida in Game 7? How much different is our lives right now, right?
I think it's good to stay kind of specific to players, I guess.
Yeah, like
Kessler
players.
doesn't pull his pad. That's it for me.
Okay, what if Kessler doesn't pull Talbot's pad?
That's it for me.
It is a good one.
That's a good
Or
one.
that gets called, right?
Or it gets called right, yeah.
What if Jordan Eberle could score in 2017? He didn't score a goal in the playoffs.
Like, what if he had one?
What if he had one goal?
What if Eberle?
What if he, like that year, he had 20 goals?
That's a good one.
Well, so here, that's a great one because of the trickle-down effect.
Yeah.
What if, and maybe this is a better one, what if Eberle had a good playoffs?
Yeah.
Do the Oilers beat the Ducks? They don't trade him. So with no Eberle for Strome, there's no Strome for Spooner. Does Chiarelli get fired when he does? If Chiarelli makes it through that year into the next year, the Oilers don't hire Ken Holland.
We don't get Ekholm,
We maybe never get Ekholm.
but maybe, yeah. So it is quite a big ripple
They call that
effect.
the butterfly.
Because
effect.
Larson
Yeah.
would potentially never leave. I see Mainlander
maybe
Ryan S.
not.
said it.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting one. What if Eberle did score a goal? Like just kind of play it to his standard, and he really was bad, like in that whole thing. Like, and obviously it ended his time in Edmonton, and something that's like not spoken about a lot because obviously the other things that happened in 2017 kind of overshadowed it. So that's one. That's
a great pick. What if Jack Campbell doesn't stink?
What if Jack Campbell?
Like, what if, how much
There's no world where he doesn't.
I know,
stink.
but like, what if he was just like a 9-10 goalie? We don't have Stuart Skinner never gets the chance to be Stuart Skinner, does he? Or does he eventually overtake him anyways?
Yeah, that's a tough one. I'm trying to think of ones like stay away from contracts because there's other ones.
Yeah,
too,
that's tough.
Like, what if they don't sign Milan Lucic? But also at the time, it's like you sign Milan Lucic and he's the number one player on the market.
Yeah,
it wasn't that bad.
Yeah,
right?
what are the ones that like aren't like super in hindsight? Because what if they never signed Jack Campbell? Yeah, I mean that life would be good.
What if Darnell
I was
Nurse
gonna
was
say
able
Darnell.
to keep his offensive standards? I know 16 goals is a lot and he still gets 10, but during that time, we weren't really worried about his defensive play either.
What if Duncan Keith didn't retire?
What if Duncan Keith?
I mean, hey, here's an even better one actually to the Jack Campbell one. What if Mike Smith stayed for another year?
What if they didn't sign Mikko Koskinen?
One that could be interesting to visit in a couple of years. What if we traded Philip Broberg at this past deadline? Keep your eye on that for a couple of years from now.
If we would have done first Broberg and Holloway for Buchnevich, like what if they would have done that deal? Whoo, yeah.
But then you don't get Skinner.
What if they would have done the dry? I think this is
Subban.
Draisaitl for Subban, Draisaitl and Klefbom for Subban.
So so I don't know if you ever do this, but on the back end of the website, you can at the bottom it shows like most recent comments, and there was one from Jonathan Willis, and it was from like 7 years ago, maybe longer. Being like, the Oilers should consider trading Leon Draisaitl. And a bunch of people commented like, well, thank goodness we didn't do this.
Yeah. No, you didn't want to do that. He is a prime example of why you always stay patient with prospects. And I know it's taken a bit longer than with Draisaitl, but like Broberg can still be a top 4 defenseman for you. And that is a massive advantage.
That is a massive advantage. Yeah, trying to think of like any other significant ones. What if they actually got value for a lot of the guys they traded?
Yeah, that's the main one with the Eberle thing, right?
Well, not even like Eberle. Like Eberle, sure. Like, but at least you got Strom's a good NHL player. He's
well,
not
he wasn't
Eberle.
here, but
Yes. Well, it wasn't that bad. It's what they traded for was even worse. But like guys like, and this has gone past the McDavid era, but like Jeff Petrie, he was like the third best player available that year, and the best they got was a second round pick.
Yeah.
Pat Maroon, they got a guy that never played for them, and like a fourth or something stupid like that. And it's like, I know he's Pat Maroon, but he's still, it was really good. What did they get here? They got the rights to JD Dudek and a third round pick, which worked out to be Alexander Campbell, which I believe wasn't even an Oilers draft pick. I think they traded it.
Someone had a good one here because Sergeant Battle said, what if they drafted Tkachuk over Puljujarvi? Does Tkachuk still go to the USA? Does he want to play with Connor and Leon? I think he stays with Connor and Leon. There's no way he leaves. Like,
okay,
he left because Johnny left.
Yeah, that is true. But the one thing with Calgary as well, him leaving, Johnny obviously having a big ripple effect on it. Gaudreau and Lindholm, all three of those guys had 100 points that year.
Yeah.
And he still left.
That's fair.
He still didn't want to stay. So I don't know. Maybe it would have just gone. What if they drafted Shane Doan? That one's taking it back.
That's too far. We said McDavid there.
I think the Tkachuk one is probably the biggest draft one.
Well, and so Mainliner Tim took it a step further. Like, here's the great one is what if Columbus would have just taken Puljujarvi?
Yeah, that is true as well.
The Oilers were going to take Sergachev at 4.
I didn't know that.
That is like fact. They were taking Sergachev at 4, or they were trading down.
What if they didn't trade Reinhart? Or what if Reinhart just turned out to be a half decent player?
Yeah.
You know, even if
That's a good one.
The trade is what it is, and I guess, you know, that is a big what if for everyone. But like, what if Reinhart just turned out to be like a guy you can just plug in as your third pairing defenseman every night? What if he was just Brett Kulak? I know you traded a steep price to pay, but like, what if you turned out that he could actually play? He'd still only be like 32, I think.
Yeah, he would like still be an Oiler. Yeah. All right. You know what we should do? Because we're going to cut this conversation short.
He's 30.
We should make that our delicious debate for Owen Radio. Because I'd like to get Rick and Dan in on this. I think they'd be really good at it.
Just a Griffin Reinhart update. He's retired.
Oh, yeah.
30 years old.
He retired last year.
2022. Played for Belfast. That's kind of crazy. You'd think he'd kind of hang out in Europe for a while.
So, like, and again, this almost ties into the Klefbom thing. There are certain players who love hockey and will do anything to keep playing hockey and want nothing more than to be NHLers. There are some guys who get to the NHL because they're good at it.
Yeah. Mike D put there, what if we didn't take Bourgault? I thought about that one, but I stuck away from it because I think that draft is just
it's a shit show, yeah.
That was the COVID draft. Like, the OHL didn't even play that year. Quebec played so many games. WHL played so many games. It's like so hard to really judge them too heavily on that. I think in a real year, Wyatt Johnson's probably a top 10 pick.
Sergeant Battle says, what if COVID didn't happen?
Hey, great question. I don't know where I wouldn't have a job, probably. Yeah, I don't think I would be here if it wasn't for COVID.
Shout out COVID.
Yep.
All right. Let's get to our player grade for Sherwood Power Sports and Marine. Stay away from never mind. I'm not going to make a joke. Shout out Sherwood Power Sports and Marine. Your spot. You want to be out on the water this summer? Sherwood Power Sports and Marine is the spot you need to go. Pontoon boats, fishing boats. They got everything out there. Fishing gear, reels, tackles. Sherwood Power Sports and Marine is your spot right in the heart of Sherwood Park. Today's player grade is Connor Brown. We are on number 28, and this is going to be an interesting one, Liam. We got a regular season grade, we got a playoff grade, and then we got his chances of being here when the playoffs roll around next season. Let me start with his regular season grade. Connor Brown played 71 games, had 4 goals, 8 assists, and 12 points. He did some good things. Killed penalties. Was a little feisty guy in the bottom 6, buzzed around. His grade in the regular season is an F. F+ if you want to be nice. There's no other way to put this. Why did we use that photo of Connor Brown?
I've been giggling at this for the last little bit.
Why is he wearing a wig?
That was his draft photo.
He looks like Lord Farquhar from Shrek. All right. Why did you do that?
For this moment. This is what I was hoping for.
F+ in the regular season. You can't even give it. No, anyone who's given him a D. We signed him, gave him basically $4 million because of his bonus this year. The expectation was he would play in our top 6 and score 20-plus goals. It took him until the last 10 games of the year to score 1.
Game 56.
Game 56. He gets an F. I like him. I'm so happy he's back. I actually, if you could give me like plus 300, I'd bet on him scoring 15 to 20 goals this year. I'm that high on Connor Brown this year. I think he's going to be excellent, but he gets an F for his regular season. I'm sorry, Connor Brown. F plus, because I liked him on the penalty kill, and he was still a player, and he didn't totally disappear, and he was a good sport, and he stuck with it, and we got the moment when he scored, and the crowd went nuts and chanted his name, like electric. But he was wildly disappointing for most of the season.
Yeah, I honestly can't disagree with you. I don't even know if F plus is a grade that they hand out.
No, I don't think it is, but it is here.
Fair. Like, I mean, like you said, this sort of guy at worst was a middle 6 guy for you who scored like 12 goals.
Yeah.
But took him forever.
He wasn't even close to being close to acceptable in the regular season.
He made it to Vermilion.
He was so
Good
bad
point.
that they didn't even play him in the first round against the LA Kings. He wasn't even their 12th best forward after his regular season.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think he was easily... Was he the Oilers' worst forward?
Probably,
but the standard's obviously high. I don't think his overall package, like, what he brought to the team was actually good. Like, he had a lot of chances. Penalty killing was great. But didn't score goals. Playoffs, he just added to goal scoring, and we all loved him. He basically did what he did in the regular season outside of score goal, but he scored goals. So I think both are fair. I think in the playoffs, especially the last few rounds, he was amazing. Became like a fan favorite. I think his legacy in Edmonton will always be here because of what he did in that playoff run, right? And hopefully he can do it again this year. And man, I'd be happy with 10 goals from him.
Double digits would be solid.
Yeah.
12 to 15 would be a success. 15 to plus would be bring him back, give him a raise.
I'm gonna say it's 8 to 12 goals this year. I'm trying to keep my standard low.
I'm going 10, just straight 10.
Yeah.
Fourth line, round mark.
Playoffs, I did give him a B plus or B minus. I thought it
was fair.
By the time once he got into the lineup, he stuck no matter what. So bang. Great chance of staying past next year's or in next year's playoffs, 95%. Like maybe there's a world where they just find so many weird upgrades during the season that he's pushed out, or Savoy, like maybe. But no, I think he's playing game 1 of the playoffs.
I completely agree.
All right, there you go. There's your player grade for Sherwood Power Sports and Marine. On the topic of the what ifs, this one just made me mad because I don't like saying stuff like this. What if they drafted Hellebuck instead of Yakubov? Yeah, what if they took a guy who went 130th overall, first overall?
The Hellebuck story is kind of crazy.
It is. Like, again, that wasn't the point of the question. Wasn't like, what if they would have drafted Datsuk first in their first round in his draft year? Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, played in a null, which is one below the USHL, which I guess a forward to
like below the
USHL.
USHL.
Yeah, like story's crazy. Now he's the best goalie in the league.
He is. All right, let's wrap up the show with our other sports report. It is brought to you by our friends at Bet365. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. You can download the app today and use the code OILYBONUS to get in on a wide range of markets. Check them out, Bet365. Here are a couple of things from other sports. Did you know the Chicago White Sox snapped their 21-game losing streak?
Oh, congratulations.
They did.
They're like awful, right? Liam, when a team is that bad, what's usually one of the positives they can pull from it?
They might have some good prospects.
Yeah, like when you're the worst team in the league by, like, they have, how many wins they have right now? 28 wins. Every other team in the league has at least 40. They have 28.
Do you know what? Like, when you're that bad, it's not good.
But at least they're going to get the first overall pick, right?
Yeah, like I guess.
Wrong. Because of the ML, because of Major League Baseball's, how's it phrased here? Previous lotteries, market size, and revenue sharing rules, they are ineligible to pick any earlier than 10th.
Whoa.
So basically, Major League Baseball put in a thing that if you're considered like a rich organization, if you're not one of like the bottom feeders like a Oakland, although Oakland's also ineligible to pick earlier than 10th this year.
Who are the least financial successful team? Miami's Miami one. I feel like they always.
Yeah, I don't know. It's based on like if you go into the revenue sharing, if you're a positive or a negative contributor kind of thing. So because of that, combined with the fact they were a lottery team last year, they can't be a lottery team again. So they will be picking 10th and Oakland will be picking 11th, regardless of how bad they finish.
So is that rule to encourage teams to be good?
It's to stop. Their concern is they kind of learned this from Houston and then a little bit Baltimore is like, oh, wow, Houston did it so well where they were god awful for 3-4 years, racked up first overall picks, and then snapped their fingers, started to spend, and were unstoppable. Right. They don't want rich organizations intentionally being bad to get first overall picks and then just snapping their fingers, spending in free agency and building juggernauts. They want teams to have to try to be competitive.
So there must be very few teams that can actually bypass that rule, right?
Yeah, very few.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Oakland or Chicago is 28-89. They're going to lose 100 games by the end of August, which is like unfathomable in baseball.
Right.
And they are going to pick 10th.
Baseball's ass backwards, dude. No salary cap.
Yeah, nothing makes sense.
I don't know, what are they doing?
So who will get first?
So right now, Colorado has the best odds of picking first. Them and Miami are tied. First and second. Or
are they two of the worst teams?
Yep. Well, I mean,
because how many teams
they've won 14 and 15 more games than the White Sox.
Wow. Yeah, that's crazy.
So they're at 42 wins. Miami's at 43. They're next. LA's next at 51. Washington's at 52. Then the Jays, fifth best odds of winning the first overall pick.
So it's because the Jays have tried to. They were in the playoffs last year.
Yeah, they weren't a lottery team last year. But then that also speaks to the Jays should try to be competitive next year, because if they were to hypothetically, again, or they are a lottery team, they can't be a lottery team again next year.
Interesting. So the idea is
so you can be a lottery team every other year.
Pretty much.
Okay.
So they're trying to make it so that like every year, basically every team is relative competitive.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
You can't commit to tanking for like 2 to 3 years. You can have a bad season, but then you got to try to get better.
Oh, you have it.
Yeah.
Even if you were, let's say, Oakland and you had no money, you couldn't even field a competitive team because your salary, you have 40 million.
Correct.
You still, Jesus, that's
Sucks.
ass backwards.
It's crazy. Sergeant Battle, if they won every game for the rest of the year, they'd still be below 500. They have losing streaks of 21 games, 14 games, and 9 games. Mm-hmm. If you turned those into winning streaks instead of losing streaks, so flip the results of every game in those streaks, they're still under 500.
Oh my
God. Yeah, it's bad. They fired their manager, though. So they waited till he snapped the losing streak, and then they fired him. Let him go out on a high note.
Clearly just the worst team ever.
Yeah.
I got some other sports news.
Okay.
Canada won the 4x100
in Paris.
Aaron Brown, Jerome Blake, Brendan Rodney, and Andre DeGrasse.
All right.
4x100 meter gold, which is crazy. I don't think they were even supposed to medal, and they beat the U.S. Actually, like the U.S. was disqualified, but I don't think the U.S. actually even finished in the top 3.
Whoa, what's his name? Noah Lyles has COVID.
Yeah.
So
you
can't
were
race.
Sure quick to point that one out after he lost the 200.
Yeah, so just I'm watching the replay here. It looks like, if I'm seeing it, Great Britain was second. I think South Africa was third.
But Canada's got a gold.
The U.S. was like, wow, the U.S. was like 7th. Damn. That's crazy, actually.
That is wild.
Yeah, another gold for Canada. I think that takes them up to 8 in the competition.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty crazy.
The Elks are at home to the BC Lions.
Come on, Elks.
Let's go. Sunday, 5 o'clock kickoff in the CFL. So giddy up. The Elks open up as 2-point favorites. It's the Trey Ford effect. My favorite bet on Bet365 is the over, because if Trey Ford's playing, offense will be produced. And the Elks defense is bad.
Yes, it is.
So there you go.
But you know what, too? Like, for the Elk, to give them credit, the Elks defense has been games where they've actually played decent, get like a respectable score, and then the offense scores nothing. Like, I think it's when they played Saskatchewan earlier in the year, they kept them to like 20 points, and they missed like 4 field goals.
Elks money line in the over plus 237. Bang.
Oh, that's scary.
Let's go.
Elks. I hope they do well. We talked, didn't we, about them possibly making the playoffs.
What do you got going on this weekend?
I'm going to go to Halinka right after the Oilersnation Radio bronze medal. 2 semifinal games tonight. Canada versus the United States. Canada should win. The U.S. is probably the 4th team in this thing. Czechia, Sweden. Czechia, Sweden will be really good. And then tomorrow, bronze medal game, gold medal game, and also Bolton Wanderers kick off their League One campaign.
Oh, Wanderers.
Yes. So 10:30, we play Leyton Orient. Ever heard of them?
Nope.
So yeah, it's tomorrow. I'm gonna watch that with my dad, and then
you're good.
Gonna go out for some dinner on Sunday to celebrate the purchase of my new home.
Congrats. Where are you going to go for dinner? Or do you not want to dox yourself?
I won't dox myself.
Okay. I'm golfing twice this weekend. What else is new?
Shocker.
Stunner. I'm becoming a big fan of the late afternoon tea times.
Oh.
Still get it in. And then after, you can like hit up a bar, get a late night happy hour. I'm doing, I think, like 3:40 and 4. on the 2 days. And also that way, like Saturday, St. Albert Farmers Market. What up?
Yeah. Reason why St. Albert's so busy.
Mm-hmm. But I'll ride my bike there.
That's smart.
Yeah.
It's a great farmer's market.
Great farmers market. So I'll probably hit that up on Saturday and then go golfing a couple of times.
Nice.
Try to break 80 again. That's my goal.
Yeah, I might try and sneak in some golf on Sunday. We'll see.
Oh, Saturday said you're going out for dinner.
Sunday I went out for dinner.
Oh.
Saturday I have gold medal game.
Oh, yeah. I have an open spot in the tea time on Saturday.
I'm grinding. Sorry.
Damn. All right. Speaking of golf, Oilers Nation Open coming to Mill Woods. Once again, it's the 7th annual Oilers Nation Open at the Mill Woods Golf Club. Private club conditions for under $100. I looked. There are still open tee times this Sunday as well. So giddy up on that. Shout out to Star Mechanical, Oodle Noodle, Millwoods Golf Club. And of course, it's all in support of Gregor's Grad. We are slowly running out of groups.
Good.
If you want to get in, nationgear.ca. If you want to play with myself, Jay and Chalmers, the real life crew, that bidding is at $625 for you and a friend. We're a team of 5. We are going to win this thing. So if you want to be on the winning team, I'm playing good golf right now. Jay's slowly getting into golfing shape. Chalmers is actually unbelievable at golf. We are going to be a very good team. Get your bid in, nationgear.ca. The next bid I think has to be $675, but it's you and a friend. Golf with us. We'll be supplying some beveraginos on the course as well. So giddy up.
Nice. It'll be exciting.
Absolutely. Rock in August also happening in St. Albert this week and weekend. That is correct.
What's that?
It's like old cars come and they do a little parade with
cool.
old cars. Then they all park in Lions Park, which is like right by my house. And yeah.
Lance Kane and I are going to Punk and Drublic.
Oh, yeah. Guys on my slow pitch team are doing that too.
Yeah,
I heard it's good.
Also, yeah, I'm not here next week.
Oh, yeah. Enjoy your vacation, Aaron.
Yeah.
Pat Puff. Oh, we'll have fun with Pat.
Patty P.
Yeah.
Patty P and Brett will be our 2 producers.
Breadman.
They'll mix it up. The Breadman.
There's also a quote going around of them asking Noah Lyles like if he thinks Canada can compete with them at the 4x100, and he keeps saying who, and then the US finished 6th. Awesome.
Tough.
Suck it, Noah.
New episode of Real Life out now. New episode of Oilers Nation Radio dropping a little bit later on this afternoon. Gregor's up at 2 o'clock here on the Oilers Nation YouTube, but that is a wrap for this program, Oilers Nation Every Day. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy the beautiful weather. We'll be back with you on Monday. Oil up.
Thank you for watching Oilers Nation Every Day. Hit the subscribe button to never miss a show. And for more, visit OilersNation.com.